The second battle with Lord Raederic was tougher than the first, and I think we are fortunate to have won. Where he learned to cast fireball-type spells, I can only imagine. This time we will burn the body, and burial bones are left along the way back to Twin Elms. It will be odd to do this, but I want to ensure that he will not return again. However, I am not even sure that it will prevent him from returning to exact vengeance upon me. What if his soul enters a newborn body, remembers his past life, and slits my throat when I'm an old man? I don't think that there are any real guarantees here. With necromancy and animism mixed together, who knows what can be accomplished. We've returned to Twin Elms. Over 2 days to get over back this way. Buried the bones of Lord Raederic in many different locations. I don't think that anyone's going to be able to bring him back as he was, but you never know. We are quite tired. Didn't have any rest. Just went straight here. Okay, so I know that we should visit. I met a rather enraged Vailian merchant by the name of Renato in Hearthsong. It appears he purchased a pricey sum of Elard Gola, an aphrodisiac plant gathered in the deep jungles of Glanfathan. However, he is convinced that Elarthi, the Glanfathan herbalist, sold him worthless goods. Renato intends on recovering his investment by any means necessary. Renato told me he was sold Elard Golan of poor quality by Elarthi, a merchant in Hearthsong's market. I should speak with this Glanfathan woman and convince her to return the Vailian's copper. Meager, but I'm here to... I don't even know if I'm going to get goodwill by doing this. I don't even know who... Anybody remember who that person was? We've been to all these persons. Her name was Tamra. You're not...
Estremor.
No. It's... Maybe it's this person over here.
Estremor?
No, he says his name is Mazdan. Elarthi. Where is this Elarthi? A young girl looks above the market with a disinterested gaze. As I near, she stops her attention and straightens her posture. Welcome, Estremor, she says with a curtsy. Elarthi's not here, so I'm running the shop while she's away. She glides her hands in front of the display of cases of poultices and remedies. If you're looking for herbs, tinctures, oils, or ointments, then I've got everything you'll ever need. I'm looking for Elarthi. Where might I find her? She lives not far from here. The little girl points at the exit out of the market. Climb up the stairs. At the top, there's a circle of ruins. Do you know it? It's on the north side of Hearthsong. Anyway, her house is right there. The door faces those ruins. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, so... hut with the doors facing the ruins. It shouldn't be that hard to find.
Never before have I met an Adirian man so hesitant to speak his mind.
I'm not hesitant. I just, like to consider my words carefully.
You should really hear yourself talk, amigo.
As long as it doesn't come to blows or negatively affect the party, then I don't mind. A little bit of rivalry among my party members. So this is the place. It's gotta be. From the north, facing the ruins. Hello, are you Elarthi? This doesn't really look good. There's 3 warriors, Glanfathan warriors nearby. I don't want to tick these people off. Elarthi stands tall and proud, surrounded by Glanfathan warriors that study my every move. I expected Renato to employ someone on his behalf. I'm surprised to see that it is you doing his bidding. She tilts her head to the side and blinks slowly. Does the presence of my armed entourage concern you? You were expecting a defenseless shopkeeper, am I right? Elarthi raises her dye-stained hand just as one of her guards begins to lurch forward. Stillness! She barks at her attendant. Give the Estremor a chance to speak. We are not Durwoodian beasts. Here hospitality reigns. Elarthi nods to me, holding up an open hand, her palm and fingers covered in blue and green dye. Envoy of the Vailian, speak the message you are sent to deliver. I want to hear your side of the story. The first step of any sensible path, she muses, scratching her chin. Renato did purchase for me several bushels of Allard Gola, and for it he paid a high price, but did so willingly, saying it was a bargain, right as he handed me his copper. It was after our trade that the Vailian spit his venom. Alarhi's voice grows angry. Renato accused me of trickery, of fraud, claiming I delivered withered likenesses of Allard Gola and not the genuine root. Such nerve! For in truth he is beyond the help of Allard Gola. She holds a blue-dyed finger in the air before curling it down slowly, smiling as she does. Renato's old bow isn't firm enough for a full draw. No amount of Allard Gola will give him the spear of a young hunter. A fair deal was made, and now Renato objects, angry that his withered family plow is beyond herbal remedies. She shakes her head, her voice becoming a growl. I have never sold anyone a remedy I knew to be false. If Renato does not silence his slanderous tongue, we will do it for him. Well, what kind of punishment do you have in mind for Renato? Renato has slandered his host, making him no longer a guest. The merchant must vanish from Twin Elms. She crosses her arms under the sleeve of her robe. But Glanfathan hospitality must be observed, always. He is to be given a chance to leave on his feet before he bleeds on his back. Deliver, in our name, a warning. Tell Renato that if he does not leave, he will be accused of conspiring to pilfer and Gwithan relics from our lands. He won't risk a trial by the council of Anamfada. Alarhi draws a small wooden cage from the folds of her robe. If he won't listen, tell him that his faulty member will end in a cage, just like this black beetle, food for our birds. I will deliver the message. Alarhi nods at me. Return to me when the Vailian has disappeared from Twin Elms. I would rather side with her, actually. The problem is, if I side with him, it could tarnish my name. I don't want to do that here. Not while Thaos still runs around. We need these people's hospitality. He was right before the inn. And unfortunately, she wants me to run back and inform her when he's left. I could spare some copper for Renato. Is he still here? That's him.
Hail and well met.
Renato smiles broadly and throws his arms in the air at my arrival. Have you recovered my coin? Alarhi gave me this beetle in a cage for you. She said your problem would end in the same place if you continue your stay in Twin Elms. Renato's face that turns bright at the sight of the gift. Insufferable witch! She can shove that beetle in her fetid mating hole. Gesticulating with every word, spit flies from Renato's mouth as his voice grows louder. Her and her face-painting thugs will pay for this insult. He reaches out to strike the cage out from my hands. I wouldn't do that. Renato swings at the cage but strikes my forearm instead. The trapped insect falls harmlessly on the ground. Renato turns to face me, his face flushed with rage. Medicio! The Vailian merchant shouts at the top of his lungs. Savage, filthy animals! This damn city will burn! I hear a whistling sound from nearby. I'll kill you! Renato's voice gurgles mid-sentence. The tip of an arrow, gleaming red, protrudes from his throat. The merchant quivers in a quick spasm, flailing his arms. He drops to his knees, spurts of blood flowing down his chest. I look up and notice a Glanfathan archer approaching the scene. Well, this didn't end how I thought it would. It's not our custom to tolerate squabbles between Esther Morwen. The huntress begins to turn around, but her face lingers in my direction. The faint semblance of a smile crosses her lips. I'm sure you understand. Before I can reply, she walks away, moving with confident strides. Renato's arms twitch a final spasm as the merchant expires in a bloody, crumpled heap. No, not how I thought it would end at all. Hello? Everywhere I look, I see some tribesmen give me the stink eye. They sure are an unwelcoming bunch. Oh, Renato. He didn't have anything I want to take. We need to sleep, but no, we have to return to Alarhi. Otherwise, like I said, I want to keep the peace between me and these people while we still need it. Not that I really enjoy their culture or strange ways. Alarhi, I've returned. You are welcome into our hearth. What news do you bring? Renato won't trouble you anymore. He's dead. Dead? Alarhi's eyebrow raises. Her posture stiffens. I'm not surprised, given his behavior this far, but the death of a Vailian merchant could bode poorly for trade. Reaching into her robes, Alarhi produces a small pouch. Still, the matter is settled, and Renato will no longer darken our market. Here's your payment for services rendered. Travel safely, Estermore. Thank you. Yes, the people here are very vicious if you go against their ways, so keep that in mind. Returning to this fine inn, if it could be described that way. I am so tired. My eyes are blurry.
Good day, stranger.
Welcome back. Is there anything I can do for you? I'd like a room, please. Of course, something with a nice view, yes? I don't care if it has a view or not. Well, that was an interesting dream I had last night. I wonder if Swyneth bothered to come back here. No. Well, not where she was hanging out before. No, how about the monks? Did they leave? I'm curious. I wonder what they're here for. That's an interesting looking woman. Oh, reach out to the soul. I see a man browsing through some goods at a stall near the edge of a busy marketplace. This elf is standing against the side of a building nearby, seeming to look off into the distance, although she gives the appearance of calmness, even nonchalance. Her eyes are locked on the man across the street from her. Her gaze never wavers, never leaves him. He finishes browsing and wanders down the street, looking from side to side. She waits for him to almost get lost in the crowd, then pushes away from the wall and follows him, always keeping him in sight, but never getting close enough to be seen. Eventually, he turns down a side street, walking to an opulent residence with a private entrance. She approaches cautiously, watching him as he undoes a series of mystical locks on the door. When he finishes and the door swings open, she steps forward. At the sound, he turns to face her. She looks him in the eyes, and there is an almost imperceptible flash in her gaze, and suddenly he is standing rigid, his eyes glazed. She smiles, extends her hand in greeting, and looks into his house. He takes her hand like someone in a trance, blank face, never registering recognition. I can't wait to see all the goods you're going to give me, she says conversationally, and guides him into the house, glancing over her shoulder to ensure no one is watching them. Interesting way of robbing a place. I definitely don't want to get in her way. They're still here. Hello? Thank you again for the message you delivered. Our brother was wise to entrust you with completing his final mission. Okay, well, they're still here, and I have no idea what they're doing. Hopefully it has nothing to do with Thaos, because otherwise I really don't care. Now, we have, yes, that place we went through before with the priest Hylia. We'll go and we'll explore the rest of that area first. Raederic, a Glanfathan from a prestigious tribe, wants to know what happened to his brother, Fjorm, a renowned hunter, during the blood hunt that took him with another hunter, Arthwin, to the forests of Northweald. Arthwin claims that Fjorm exiled himself in shame after failing to kill a giant Stelgar in their blood hunt. Raederic believes that Arthwin, a member of a lower tribe, is lying for his own gain. I found enough information about Fjorm's death. His brother Raederic will want to know about it. I can find him in the Passage of the Six in the Hearthsong district of Twin Elms. I found the corpse of the giant Stelgar. It stalked atop the waterfall and spotted Arthwin below. Then another elf, almost assuredly Fjorm, gravely wounded it with a spear. The Stelgar fought to save its life, but died in the resulting battle. I had forgotten about that, so we have to go inside the Passage of the Six. If he's still here. I think that's him right there, Raederic.
Estermore?
You've returned. He glances at the huntress in the group. We hope you found the truth about my brother's fate. You mentioned a blood hunt. What is it? We prove our worth in a blood hunt. We set out to stalk and prey, always a dangerous creature, and only one kills it first. The elven huntress interrupts with an exasperated sigh. Yes, but we hunt as pairs, to bond, as Glanfathan, as one, not as enemies. 2 hunters, 2 tribes, 1 spirit. That is our way. Raederic glowers in response. Our way isn't to lie. We don't betray our brothers and sisters for our own gain. The blood hunt between you and your brother and Arthwin has broken the communion of our tribes, Raederic. Do not dig in this wound until you can claim the truth. She turns again to face me. Perhaps our customs appear strange to you, but despite what you now see, we Glanfathans hold our bonds sacred. Raederic is not happy. I've concluded my task. It's time to speak with the Glanfathan. What did you see? Where's Fjorm? Raederic takes a step forward. Tell me! Raederic! The huntress thrusts her palm between me and her companion. The truth belongs to all of us, even Arthwin. You know this. Raederic, hesitant for a moment, he wipes the sweat off his face, leaving traces of red paint on his hands. I'm ready to share the truth with the Glanfathan. He looks up. And I'll make sure that so is Arthwin. Are they still here at this time of day? Our paths cross again. Glanfathan Undead. I've been investigating Fjorm's disappearance. Indeed, Arthwin and Raederic have spoken of little else. I do not envy your position, Glanfathan Undead. Your testimony may resolve the tension between the Keepers of the Stone and the twice-split arrows. She steeples her fingers. When you've gathered your evidence, I'll call a hearing. Let's begin. She nods. I will summon Arthwin and Raederic. Their fates and the names of their tribes depend on what you will reveal to us, Glanfathan Undead. Bethwell stands at the head of the hall, lit from behind by a dozen candles. She casts a long shadow across the floor. We've gathered to weigh the claims of Arthwin and Raederic in the matter of Fjorm's disappearance. To that end, we are honored by the presence of Glanfathan Undead, whose insight may help us render a verdict. Murmurs of astonishment echo from the front of the hut. We begin with Arthwin's claim. He asserts that Fjorm lured him into a confrontation with the Stelgar and that he slew the beast on his own. Fjorm, he says, exiled himself, fearing that knowledge of his actions would heap shame on the Keepers of the Stone. She holds up a tooth as long as her arm. As evidence, he brings a fang from the great Stelgar. On the other hand, Raederic states that his brother was tricked and murdered by Arthwin during the hunt. A hunter of Fjorm's renown would not have fallen in the blood hunt but by treachery. Her shadow flickers and dances in the candlelight as she observes me. And now, we turn to our Glanfathan Undead. We ask only that you share your observations, and that we find closure for these two tribes. She lowers her head. What fate befell Fjorm? Fjorm is dead. What? Raederic stares at me, his face contorted between surprise and anger. He turns to Arthwin. How? You puny weakling, how? The Glanfathan whips her neck towards the tribesman. Do not forget your place. Raederic's chest balloons, but he quickly lowers his chin in obedience. Arthwin's eyes dart from side to side. The Glanfathan continues. It saddens us to know this truth, but we must still reveal it deeper. If this is so, how did the giant Stelgar die? Fjorm killed the giant beast. Of course he did. Raederic shakes his fist and looks to everyone in the hall. Arthwin is just a feeble hunter from the twice-split arrows, and a liar. Fur bristles along Bethwell's arms. Silence! Her slitted pupils narrow as she regards me. And now we come to it. Claim the truth for the 6 tribes, Glanfathan Undead. Fjorm tricked Arthwin and fought the giant Stelgar by himself. They killed each other in the fight. Arthwin tried to cover Fjorm's shame, but lied about besting the creature. Your words echo along the passage of the 6 to solemn audience. Bethwell nods. It is as you say. We thank you for sharing your truth with us. The Glanfathan turns to Arthwin and Raederic. Brothers of the tribes, let these wounds mend. Go in peace and contemplate the shame brought into our hearth. Glanfathan Undead, I'd have a word with you. Yes. She turns back to me. A shame upon both tribes is not what I would have wanted, but we must learn to turn our faces to these hard truths if we are to survive the coming seasons. Your integrity is a boon to us. Please accept this with our thanks. Not exactly the ending that I had wanted. But there is no other way around it. The truth is the truth. That's what I found. At first I thought that Fjorm was completely innocent. It turns out after discussing it with my party members and thinking upon what I found, well, Fjorm tricked Arthwin. And Fjorm died from his attempt to get rid of him. Although you would have think that such an accomplished hunter would be a very accomplished fighter too. He would have been able to kill Arthwin easily. Now, want to go to Old Song, which is the area with the giant dragon's head that we went through but never fully explored the area before going to North Weald and the Temple of Helia.